Welcome back to another live episode of the Live Fully Academy show. Here with your gal, Joanna Vargas. I'm here with Desiree Lee, and she and I are going to talk about, a lot about fitness. You are a professional fitness instructor and dancer, but you focus on, you said kickboxing or boxing? Yeah. And HIIT training now. Yeah, that is so interesting. Did you just get into this boxing realm? Tell us about that.
Sure. So in my I guess you could say second life, if you have one, I want to be $1 Million Baby. That's who I want to be. I want to be that fighter.
Yeah, you remind me of her. I love that movie.
Amazing. Yeah. So with that said, I've always had my eye on kickboxing and martial arts, but it never really came to fruition until a few years ago. And I was able to train under certain people. And then I started teaching more of a workout-based fitness kickboxing program. And that led me to continue in my own training with like Kenpo and other martial arts. So basically what I've developed now is a really interesting like strength and conditioning class where we build muscle and have more traditional like strength and conditioning exercises. And then I'll have rounds throughout, like 4 rounds of kickboxing throughout.
Got it. Now I love, Desiree, that you said the traditional, would you say exercises? Are you talking about like lunges and squats and push-ups, things like that?
Yeah.
I'm so with you. I'm so about fundamentals and like keeping it basic, So tell us a little bit more about that. And like, what is your philosophy with the basic, I guess, fundamentals of that training?
So my philosophy is you definitely need to throw in some basics, especially if you're going to go outside of the basics and do something a little bit extreme or a little different. And so when I teach class, I like to warm up and tap into those basic moves that we usually do, like maybe a squat or a side lunge or a tricep pull. And then I'll modify it and make it a step further and advance it, maybe throw in a lunge and the tricep pull or a moving squat and moving side lunge, things like that. And even something like plyo has been very, very much on my mind, and I've tried to incorporate plyo into a lot of different classes, and I've just seen the results right away, which is nice.
Plyo, are you certified in that, or have you taken a lot of training in that as well?
Not certified, but definitely trained. And being a dancer, I feel that we do have a particular advantage. I'm not certified. No, I think it's a matter of knowing the body and of course like understanding the progressions that someone can have. So if someone needs to take it down a notch, or if someone is ready to advance a little more than maybe I might be, then I need to be ready to tell them, hey, like this is what you can do next, or this is what you can do now, and then you can take it up and add that powerful jump into that movement.
Yeah. Desiree, in your point of view, have you noticed that some people, when they're jumping into training, they want to go, already to, instead of doing their ABCs, they go a little bit further and skipping like the basics or the fundamentals? Have you noticed that? Because it's like, oh, that's so basic. So I want to do like this really cool stuff. Have you noticed that? And what's your point of view on that?
So lately I haven't really been in that. Haven't really noticed as much, just because the classes that I run, we touch on all the basics already. Yeah. But for example, if I do have a private client, like I had someone from Switzerland that I just adored, and she was a fireball. She was ready to go and ready to attack things, which you love. But as a trainer and someone in this movement industry, you have to understand the basics of kinesiology, the biomechanics behind everything. And so letting them know that it's okay to be slow right now. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to take a breath. And then once you practice a few times, you understand the motions, and then you can go all out after that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And let's talk about if you're short on time, or if maybe you just don't love it as much, that you have this thing that you developed where you can get it in 10 minutes and not in like the actual workout itself, the meat, so to speak. And this is not including the warm up and the cool down.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like, the 10 minutes?
Right. So not including the warm up, not including the cool down, because those have to be included.
Yeah.
I would go through a series of 30-second plyo sections. And I just would keep building on after every section. So for example, like we said, we tap into those basics in the warm-up. Then when we come down to that mark of hitting the meat of the exercises, I'll take us into 30 seconds of just squat jumps, maybe. Mm-hmm. You know, not the funnest. But then from there, we'll take it up another level. We'll have a break, rest. Another 30 seconds might be a nice drop to the ground where you have that nice roll onto the back.
Yeah.
When you come up to standing and you jump like you would in a burpee.
I love those.
Those are just my favorite.
They're so fun. Yeah.
So we do those. We do a couple of those, and then we'll switch and we'll go back into, maybe we'll have 4. I like to use the wall. So wall 1, squat jump, wall 2, squat jump, wall 3, squat jump, wall 4, squat jump, then go back into those rolls and burpee jumps. So I think adding on like that is great. Then the third round might be a side lunge, sumo squat, where it's a really wide squat jump, then back into the other side lunge, back into the sumo squat. That one is always a good one to do. No matter what, you'll get a burn.
Right.
And I think it's just perfect.
Yeah. Also, that one with balance, right, Desiree? Like,
of course.
Yeah. But keep going. I interrupted you.
No, all good. Balance is absolutely key. And I think even as dancers, we tend to forget to sit in the back of the heels. And so that is also where in the lunge, you don't necessarily do that. But in other jumps, you do. You have to bring the tailbone back, sit in those heels, and make sure the heels are going into the ground. So you get that power from the whole foot.
Yes. Isn't that interesting? I really feel having that tool, that ability as being a dancer in the fitness realm, bringing those elements into it. Because let's say even for a burpee, let's say you're in a plank position on your hands, you're in a push-up plank position. And when you jump up to a burpee, right? So you're in plank, you jump up. Most of the time, people will jump onto their toes, leaning forward into the knees. And I'm like, okay, well, then maybe you're not ready to jump yet. Let's step, and really pull those heels down into the ground so that you're hitting those squats. Right. So it's all the dancer stuff. Like, anyway, yeah. So love that. Well, okay. So with the 10 minutes, Desiree, what would you do for a warm up and the cool down? Let's say I only have 20 minutes. Right. 5 and 5 would you do, or would you do longer?
Yeah, I think warming up, you can always do a little bit longer than a cool down. So you could do maybe 6 and 4, or even 7 and 3 if you're really want to work on it, especially if you have some sort of knee situation, you want to really get the knees warm and juicy. I like to spend a little more time on the warm up. But so I would do any kind of cardio you want to do for 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes of that warm up. And then the rest I would do abs, and then going back into the basics with squats and lunges.
Got it. And then the cool down. Yes. Oh, I love a good warm up. For me personally, I need a 10-15 minute warm up.
Yeah.
Like I need to oil everything. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure what people do if they don't warm up, but I have to warm up.
I warm up before the warm up. Do you do that?
Yeah. You warm up before you take class. You know, this feels better. And I hope that people, understand that it will help your body in the long run as well.
Yeah. So important. Yeah. Where can everybody find you on Instagram?
On Instagram, my name. So Desiree, then a period, then Lee. So sometimes people mistake the L for something else, but it's Lee at the end.
Yeah. Because sometimes the L will look like an I. It's a Lord. Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what are you teaching now, Desiree? What are you all online? Are you back in studio or anything?
I'm all online.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I offer classes among friends in the morning, and that's more of an advanced class. But again, you can always drop it down, take it to your level, and that's HIIT, and that's where the plyo and the HIIT come together.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesdays, like today, I teach a muscle toning class, and that has evolved into a kickboxing and conditioning class.
Yeah. Have you discovered that you enjoy working out online? Because were you online before the pandemic, or is this something that just started?
This is new. Yeah, well, new in the last year.
Yeah. Are you discovering that you like it? Do you think you would go back to in person, or are you enjoying the online? And then also, what are some tips and tricks that you do to make it more, I guess, the environment more enjoyable for you when you're at home?
Sure. Honestly, I enjoy online. Of course, in person, that energy will never compare to online, even though I can feel people's energy and you can emote across the screen.
Yeah.
I think it's a proven fact somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to do both. I hope to be online and in person, because I think no matter where I am, I'd still like to reach certain people and keep it open to friends that are, not in the state or not local. And then it's more affordable that way as well, because I offer a sliding scale for online classes, unless it's tied with the gym that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's out of my hands. But so for it to be more enjoyable for me, I have to understand what people want to do. Like the muscle conditioning class I told you about, we did just use weights, and then we changed a little bit and we threw in some kickboxing rounds, and that thinking of what they might want to do and how their body already is developed and what they might need to work on, it leads me to be more innovative with my classes. Now, if you're not making a class, if you're not an instructor and you're just working out and you want to find motivation, I always start with music. I think that no matter what, music is a driving factor. And like, for example, I think last night I didn't move around that much that day. And sometimes I don't have inspiration to dance as much anymore. It's a block that, you might have. So whatever kind of movement you want to do, I think the best thing for you to do is find that music, roll around on the floor, or pick up some weights after you've warmed up and just experiment and see, like, if you know your body and you know those positions and the proper ways to hold the weights, I think you can experiment a little bit and figure out what kind of combination of exercises you can use that maybe you've seen or maybe you haven't seen. As long as you're safe, it brings more creativity into your workout. And I think with music in particular, you can get the rhythm involved as well.
What's your favorite workout song? Like that, you have that one jam.
Oh, no. I don't think I have a favorite workout song. I have so many.
Okay, just give one.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't even know. You put me on the spot. Oh goodness. Okay, so right now I'm really into Latin hits, so Latin beats and rhythms, and even Afro fusion rhythms.
Yes. That's like it's like aggressive a little bit, but it's still got some feel, but it's enough to it's like an undertone of like to get you going to a workout. I totally agree.
I also love the hard stuff too, so don't get me wrong. I have a whole playlist of just more like
yes.
Those are the harder days, the harder motivational days.
Yeah. Oh, like a hard rock song. And just, I have all of it. All the way from that to like Frank Sinatra, you name it, and you play it.
Oh, yeah. I have hundreds of playlists on Spotify. If you want to link up and share playlists, I'm down.
Yeah, I do too. I have so many. It's like an addiction to make.
It really
is. Yeah, love it. Well, thanks, Desiree, for joining us. I really appreciate it. So follow her on Instagram at her name. So Desiree Lee and then Lee.
Desiree Lee.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Did you want to add anything else?
No, that's it. I was just going to say thank you so much for having me. This is always a pleasure, Joanna. It's great.
Always a pleasure. Thank you. And everybody for watching or watching the replay, we appreciate you all and have a great Taco Tuesday.
Yay.
Last Tuesday of March of quarter one
yeah.
before going to April. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye, y'all. And see you next time. Remember to live fully.